Flipping on the grind.
This is Texas. Gripping, gray, bending corners. This is Texas. Banging screws, staying true. I'm so Texas, yeah.
Steady tipping, steady flipping on the grind.
I'm so Texas, yeah.
What's going on? It's your boy Marcus Q.
It's your boy AB.
And this is the Map Social Presents.
Dirty Laundry Podcast.
Y'all know what it is. We're back with another hot topic. Always excited to speak to you all. Tonight's topic is going to be unconditional love, and is it a real thing? So we about to dive deep into that. Like somebody hurt me.
Somebody heard it.
Yeah, man. So I think this is definitely a fun topic because it can go a lot of different ways. You know what I mean?
Well, we about to dive into some double standards right
Double
here.
standard bullshit.
Yeah.
Man, I always complaining.
Oh my God.
But I'll let you kick it off, man.
All right, yeah, my take on unconditional love, I think it does exist for sure. But primarily, when I'm talking about between a man and a woman, I find out with like my mom, like my mother, like your family. Most of the time, hopefully, people get to experience that. I feel like when a woman, as far as like opposite sex, like relationship-wise, I think there's some conditions there, right? So I don't think it's unconditional towards the man if you're not, and it has nothing to do with if you're being a loving partner or anything like that. I think finances, I think how you organize your time, I think if you're struggling to do that, then those conditions are going to kick in. You're going to see it inside of your partner.
Which of the two genders you think require more of their partner?
When you say require more, what can you
Like in a relationship, do you feel like a man requires more from her woman or a man? Yeah. Do you feel
Oh,
like,
God. I think
who do you think requires more, the woman from the man or the man from the woman?
the woman from the man. Yeah, the woman from the man. There's just a lot of things where financially, being listening, being loving, being comforting, like, you know, being protective.
Right.
There's all those things. And if you're lacking in any one of those, doesn't matter what's going on in society, you better get it together because you might not have a partner for too long.
Yeah. One thing you told me a while ago that I think is interesting is that with the whole love thing, you could love somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that don't mean you gotta stay with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do believe everything has conditions. I think women do require more from their man, but like you said, the love from a mother to a son is gonna be different. They always gonna have your back.
Yeah.
That's just a different kind of love. But from a relationship standpoint, it's very interesting to me because a man is always loved on the fact of what he can provide and what he can do.
Of course.
And he will be reminded very quickly when he's falling off of that game. You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing what you need to do financially, if you're not doing what you need to do to protect your home, if you're not doing what you need to be a man, or you will be reminded real quick, like, why are you even around?
I have a theory on why that is, but I'm curious on why do you think that is?
I think it's the way, man, you know I always go to this.
It's built in their
I
DNA.
always go to this. It's biologically wired that way. I think men are viewed to be able to provide certain things, and if they can't do that, what use do we have for you?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's what I think it is. And I'm not saying that it's not a woman out there that's not holding her man down and loving him unconditionally, but that's just in general why we're viewed that way. Because it's like, what do you bring to the table?
You remember when you told me something pretty good about the 80-20 rule?
Mm-hmm.
Like your partner could be giving you 80% of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that lack of 20, you feel like you're missing out. So sometimes some partners that don't know any better, they'll go out and look for that 20, get the 20, and then later on realize, damn, I actually have something good. And they won't even, and some people won't even admit that. My theory on why that there's no unconditional love sometimes between partners, I think some people are very easily embarrassed. Like, perception means everything to them, right? So like, if you know your partner isn't, maybe they're not working and they're struggling to do certain things. Now you want to live, you want to take trips, you want to go out to eat, you want to do all these things. I think the way they perceive, that other people might perceive it, is so scared of being embarrassed that you almost start to lose respect for your partner. That partner could have been there for you, but just a long moment of other things happening, it's like they're almost embarrassed in this relationship with you.
Right.
And that kind of it's kind of messed up.
That makes sense, but what I think people get twisted about the whole unconditional love thing, when they hear that, it's triggering because they think that means just go through whatever bullshit, go through whatever storm, deal and tolerate whatever, and always just be there for that person. To me, unconditional love should look like this. So if I'm doing what I need to do to be a good partner, right? Because we like to keep it on relationships, because that's what a lot of us are interested in.
That's what y'all want to hear. Don't act like y'all want to hear.
So, what unconditional love should look like is that I'm doing what I need to do, but something just might come up where I get knocked off a little bit and I'm struggling. That's when you need to pour into me the most. That's when that unconditional love comes into play.
Exactly.
Don't be stressing me out. Don't be belittling me.
Yeah, or looking for reasons.
Like lean into me. You know what I mean? Like that's unconditional love. But what tends to happen is that stress factor kicks in because you stress, your partner stress, and it's more so like causing you more stress instead of them actually pouring into you with that unconditional love, because it's like, why you can't do this or why you falling off. That should really come into play when you need that person the most. That's unconditional love to me. Not just tolerating and putting up with some bullshit just because you love somebody, but being there for them when they really need you the most.
Yeah, I had to learn that even recently with that. Sometimes you could be very hurt or disappointed in someone and you don't like to see them in a certain state. And it's easy to kind of walk away. I had to catch myself. Just because you might not be in a relationship with someone, that don't mean you lose love for them.
Right.
You just know that that person might not be in a mental state where y'all can vibe. And that's okay. Things change. And I always see, like, let's say you get into another relationship and, you know, you've had so much experiences with different people that you're like, well, am I supposed to be like, I hate this person, don't ever talk to me no more? And there's boundaries, there's a thin line between those things. I would just tell people to, like, kind of get out of your own way. Like, it's not about you. People be dealing with some real stuff.
I think it's interesting that people will stay in some bullshit, knowing they're not happy because it's the norm, it's something they got used to. It's always difficult to do what's right. Typically, usually, what's to do what's right is to walk away and get that person's space, and it's just not working, right? Yeah. But we tend to want to stick around and go through that BS with somebody because it becomes comfortable, becomes the norm. And I think it's if the person has a capability to walk away from somebody and let them be free and do what they want to do, even though that's a hard thing to do, that means you love that person.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even when, like what you just said, when a person stays with someone, I do find most of the time that's because maybe their finances is right. Maybe, maybe they got some other things going for them or other resources going for them. And people will lie to themselves. I feel like I've seen people lie to themselves of why they're sticking around or why they don't want to be around anymore, and they're not telling the truth. They just kind of leaving it very broad. So it's like, I didn't say that. But that's what you're not being honest.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting to me, moving forward through life and getting more wisdom and holding myself more accountable. One thing that I was married 10 years. Mm-hmm. Good marriage, didn't work out. But I think it's interesting, like, it's in the vows through death do us part type shit, right? I know I would get married again. But if I get married again, honestly, in my heart, that's it. Like, I'm going to be in that. So it may not happen again, or it may. But if it does, I want to hold myself to a standard that I picked this person. Yeah. And I'm going to hold this person down. I picked them. Mm-hmm. For whatever reasons I was comfortable with picking them. Now it's time to hold true to that. Don't be trying to backdoor and backpedal.
Yes.
When
are you with me? Are you with me or not? And sometimes I feel like I do. Like there's a learning to that. I was watching something about like basically like as a man not acting, just anybody not acting on emotions. Like emotions go up and down. You feel one way one day, you feel another way another day. But in saying that, people are human. I do feel like there's a level of grace and understanding that should be given from both parties, and that's really unconditional love. But some people are just so caught up in the world. They're so caught up in hanging out and doing this and doing that and petty. Well, you did this, so I'm like trying to teach a person a lesson. I'm like, that's not your job. That's God's job. I don't know if you're a religious person, but God gonna teach the best lesson anyways. You out here trying to teach lessons, and you're not showing unconditional love, you end up hurting yourself after it's all said and done.
How powerful do you think it is for a man to have control over his emotions, especially in a relationship?
Oh, it's the most. That's the most important thing. Forget about the finances. Forget about all that protective stuff. If you don't know how to control your emotions, right? Yeah, we're human. We have emotions. We get upset. Sometimes you raise your voice, but like, be honest. Like, is this person like talking down towards you? Are they belittling you? Are they abusing you? If you're in those relationships, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's happening to, you need to take a step back and just be like, is this person ready? Maybe there's therapy that needs to happen, but it takes a person wanting to do that.
It's interesting to me because, like, there is double standards. Like, a man yelling and screaming and not controlling his emotions is such a bad look as opposed to a woman doing the exact same thing.
Of course.
It's just like, don't nobody want to see that shit. Get your shit under control.
Yeah.
And one thing that I had to learn with myself is, like, there's a fine line between expressing your emotions in a relationship and having control of your emotions. I think you should be able to communicate, but we talked about this before. There's a fine line. Be careful about how much you overly communicate. Handle your shit as a man.
Sometimes I'm like, there's so many times, not so many, but a few times I'm like, I should just went for a walk. I should, hey,
you like, goddamn, I gave you
power
shit.
You know some stuff be petty, you know some stuff don't be right, and you be like, are you serious?
You ever hold the phone and be like, nah, I ain't gonna, did you do it? You like, man, fuck that shit.
Hey, now they got that new feature, you be like, unsend. If they got iPhones, and Androids don't be working. But you better go for a walk. Go for a walk, man. Pray, and be proud of yourself when you go for that walk. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We talked about how we do both believe, me and you mutually both believe that the woman demands more from the man, requires more from the man. Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me because I'm a very loving person. Like, if I'm in love with you, if I love you, there's nothing that you're gonna ask of me that's gonna be too much anyways.
Right.
Personally. So you requiring X, Y, and Z, that's fine. My only misstep on that is when you're when you're complaining about other things or making things seem as if it's very one-sided. Like, it goes both ways, and it's not always going to be 50-50. Acknowledgement is probably the best thing.
All right, let's have fun with this.
Yeah.
You say that women require more from a man. Let's put it on a personal level. We require from women, right? But what are some important things that you personally require from your counterparts, opposite sex, someone you dating?
I'm pretty sure you're familiar with like love languages. So for me, mine is physical touch and words.
These got to be hard requirements.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not getting them, it's a problem.
Yeah. If acknowledgement.
So we sticking with physical touch?
Yeah, physical touch, acknowledgement, right?
Okay, elaborate on acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement, words of affirmation is like, okay, if you see me going hard.
You're already asking for too much. No, go ahead.
It's too much. You're not going to be happy.
Acknowledgement. Okay, I think.
Yeah, acknowledgement. Like, you working hard. It's not easy to kind of, I'm not saying like, good job, but you know when you're tired. You know when you had a tough day. And if you don't have no discernment or awareness of your partner, like needing just some type of love, that's a problem because it becomes self-absorbed, and it's like, but you're gonna want all these other things.
Right.
That kind of sucks for me personally.
That's it. You got two.
Yeah.
You got physical touch. That's a non-negotiable requirement, and then you got acknowledgement. And then if you get those,
and obviously the simple stuff: loyalty, honesty. Everybody's not the same type of communicator, but at least you're trying to communicate, right? Communication. Yeah, I think that's for the most part, that's it. I mean, everything else, like, yeah, have a good personality, we like to have fun or whatever the case may be. But those are the ones I think that are important to me.
From your partner.
Yeah.
I like those, but
he's like, I have 20 more days.
I mean, I'm gonna sound like an asshole. Because my number one requirement, and I just keep it 100, is I have to be attracted to you.
Well,
but these are hard requirements. Hey man,
you think I'm saying
I didn't demonize you. I didn't demonize you.
You're big, but you touch me.
These things matter. These things matter because, see, my thing is, I go back to your list. Everybody's different, right? I'll be fine for okay, so like I'll be fine without acknowledgement. Like I don't need that. And I'll touch on that in a second. Physical touch, absolutely. I can go without it for quite some time, but we need to be doing our thing physically, and the physical touch is I like it. But acknowledgement I don't need, and then loyalty and honesty, absolutely I do need. But like I said, I gotta be attracted to you. You gotta be carrying yourself in a way where I'm consistently attracted to you, carrying yourself feminine, have that feminine energy, have that calm energy. Because I wanted to talk about this when I do finally go head to head with my boy Eugene with something that he said. But I think it's very important for a woman to provide that to me because I'm dealing with so much out there in the world, and if I'm in a relationship, that energy is one of the most important things that I need when I come into my home. Just that feminine energy from my woman, that calm energy, that still energy.
I feel like that when I say acknowledgement, that's kind of
and as far as acknowledgement goes, if I'm handling my business and I'm doing extra things for you, I don't need you to acknowledge it at all.
Yeah.
But when it is a problem, is when you complain and you don't get that one thing. That's one of the biggest issues that I've had in a relationship, and I can't fucking stand it. So if I'm overly performing, like I use this as an example because it's something I can relate to. I've tended in my past to date women or be in long-term relationships with women that have children. Mm-hmm. Okay, I treat them children as my own.
Same.
I provide to them as my own.
Trigger.
I pick up bills that don't belong to me.
Yep.
Doing my thing is manly duties around the house of a house that I may not even pay the mortgage and rent on. We live in two separate spaces, just doing what a man's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And when you don't get that one thing, or it's time for me to be for me that day, and you have the nerve, the gumption,
the gall
to fucking complain, to throw an attitude or a fit, I cannot stand that. So it's not really more acknowledgement, but just being more aware and appreciative of what you have before you go into that complaining stage, before you go into that ungrateful stage.
You know, it's funny though, when if a person does do that, after a while, afterwards, when they realize, most of the time they don't admit it. They're like, some people will never say, "I was wrong."
Ladies, if y'all out there,
that's the sexiest word you can say,
man. That and y'all don't realize how basic and simple we are when it comes to this relationship shit. Okay. We talk about this like we talk about this. Okay, when you do something for your lady nice, it's like a piece of fish. That shit start going bad immediately.
It's because it's just gone. It's like I don't remember.
It's like what? That was years ago.
Exactly. That was
this
morning.
Ago.
You used to buy me flowers.
If a lady does something for their man, like I'm telling y'all, lady, free game. If you say you coexist with your man, y'all live together, or even if you don't, just drop him off lunch. You just bought yourself extra credit for probably like a month.
Facts.
We be so lit up about simple shit like that because we just need to know that you fuck with us. And there's so many little ways to let us know that you fuck with us. Like you said, just out in public, the physical touch. Or even come through and like checking the motherfucker for saying something that you don't like. Hey,
exactly.
That's my nigga. What you say?
Yeah, just being protective of what you got. Like you can't be.
Don't be getting too lax.
Yeah, don't be. Once you. For me personally, once you make it seem as if you're willing to let that go, like you just like it is what it is. Mm-hmm. If it is what it is, then it's kind of like, how do you think that's supposed to make a person feel? If she was on the other foot, you would feel the same way. And it's kind of like, well, have you done that? Like some people need to take a step back and be like, what could I have done better in the relationship? Forget about what the other person did. I'm gonna look at me and be like, I could have did this better. I could have did this better. I'm gonna apologize about this. Acknowledge that I could have did these things better. Now, if I'm bringing that to you, are you going to bring that to me? I don't think so.
Yeah. As a man, you don't deserve a goddamn thing, right? You have to earn that shit.
True.
And I do think we're held to a higher standard out there in the world, and we should be. It keeps us accountable, the working, the providing, the protecting, doing your thing. So a lot of cats out there hooping and hollering about what type of lady they want, but what type of man are you?
What type of man you trying to be and what you doing?
But I'll tell you this, a man that's held to those standards and he's checking those boxes and he out there doing his thing, ladies, all you gotta do, simple homework, is just show him that you are for him. That's all you got to be focused on. Do you not agree on that?
Yep.
Just show him that you're for him.
And don't be letting, man, some people take this stuff too seriously. Instagram, I love Instagram. We live, right? YouTube, Facebook, all this other stuff. Don't get caught up in that stuff. It's not real. Like, yes, people post stuff, people like stuff, people heart stuff. You like stuff, you don't even realize you like them. Like, don't take it too serious to unless you really finding some stuff. It's like, man, you should be ecstatic that you have someone in this life that probably that actually cares about you. That's kind of rare, and I think people let that stuff go too
A
easy.
lot of I'm not hating on nobody, but a lot of women don't think about, like, men, we talk about a lot of shit when we out talking to y'all, or we networking, or we trying to holler, whatever you want to call it, and we get I go to a girl Instagram that's like one pic and she's a beautiful girl. I be like, yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't have an Instagram.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Mind you, don't get it twisted. Yes, I have an Instagram, but I'm an entertainer, unfortunately. And it is real unfortunate.
No, this is just a double standard, bro.
No. But I'm saying,
nobody's going to your Instagram.
listen, if I wasn't an entertainer, if I wasn't into acting and music, I would not care about Instagram. I really wouldn't. I'd be like, okay, cool, but I wouldn't be on there as often as I am.
Why do you think? And there'll be shame, like you're insecure and all of that shit. Why do you think it's a turn on for us to see somebody not as active?
Because it just seemed like, because I feel I've seen too many people be lost in it. I've seen too many people rage scrolling and not living life. Not you not enjoying what's right in front of your face.
Mhm.
Like, that's like going on a date or watching a movie with someone and they just on the phone scrolling, not taking care of business. They just on the phone watching X, Y, and Z. You're not present. You're not here with me.
Yeah.
And there's only so many hours in a day. What you doing?
Right. I think unconditional love is something like people just don't really think about what that means.
Yeah.
I think like I said, the definition of it is pouring into and being there for that person when they're down.
Yes. Unconditionally.
It's easy to be there when they up and when they doing their thing, but it's not always gonna be up. It's gonna be down.
Yeah.
And that tells you everything you need to know about your partner when you're down. How much did you hold me down? How much did you pour into me? How much do you check in on me? And I hate to say it, it's very common. People do not do well in that era.
They don't. I mean, I've been a victim of it twice at least, where it's like things are down and then that person disappear or people just not around. It's like, damn. So when I was up and I was making this type of money, or I was making certain moves, everything was all great. Now, and it might not even be tied to that, but for the most part, it's like you could just tell the energy shift. You could tell the vibe. And it's like, okay, cool. And that stuff hurt. So it's all good, though. Life goes on.
I mean,
life goes on, bro.
I think, like I said, people quickly be like, they love somebody unconditionally, but they don't know what that really means and what goes into it at all.
Well, we putting y'all on game. We're going to go to the streets with this, though, like we usually do. I'm curious to see what people going to say if they believe unconditional love exists.
Fuck
and what their definition is.
We got to apply pressure. I want to ask of the opposite sex, who do you think requires more? Because the more and more these conversations open up about what men want, and it's how long have we been talking about what women want?
All the time.
Like through what? Television, magazines, music videos.
I mean,
all of that bullshit.
All there. That's what is marketed.
I'm interested to know why there's such an immediate defense.
And what they think they want, what we want.
Oh, that's a good one. Like, what hey, man. Hey, for real. Like,
what do y'all think we want?
Yeah, for real. Because it's like, it's automatic defense happens when it's time to talk about what a man wants. And it's like, I think it comes off like, oh, they being weak or they being insecure. But I just think it's interesting to open up these conversations, because that's how you learn about your counterparts. That's how you learn about and move forward and create those better relationships, create those loving relationships, and understanding things like unconditional love instead of just tossing around buzz terms.
Yeah, buzzwords and nobody knows. Stupid shit. It means one thing to me. It don't mean the same thing to you. So now there's miscommunication. Yeah. Like, we got to clear that up in the beginning relationship. But we're going to go out in these streets and see what's up. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Right? Comment. I don't want nobody texting me and call me. Oh, put it in the comments. Go to YouTube, put it in the comments, like, share, and comment and subscribe.
Yeah, we got y'all. This one is this week. Unconditional love. The opposite sex. Who requires more? We hit the streets on Friday, but we got a bonus. We got a bonus for y'all. We gonna get into a subject real quick that we should have been talked about and should have been got on. I'm feeling bad for my boy, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. But you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Diddy?
Yeah, we talking about Diddy, man. You want to go ahead and dive in on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Mind you, we got this 27 minutes, so I'm gonna try to make it quick. It's very easy to if you see someone getting jumped, it's easy to go in there and kick them or get a hit in or two. That's the easiest thing. You ain't doing nothing.
That's a good analogy,
right?
Bro.
But are you bold enough to tell people to, hey, yo, back up, let him go? We're not right. I'm not condoning what someone did or what they didn't do, because to be honest, a lot of stuff that I've seen hasn't been proven. It's just hearsay.